Hi, this is my video essay for our final project. So to start, I just want to say that before this course and before these books, I dreaded reading any sort of nonfiction, historical fiction, contemporary fiction. I was just very uninterested with those genres, and I felt like it wasn't concerning any of my interests or values. And I was under the impression that many books had the same sort of tale of something happened, it was rough, the characters persevered, and it was a happy ending. So, for a while, my favorite genre has been a mix of queer science fiction and romantic fantasy because I enjoy reading about the yearning and the desire for one another, but also being immersed into a different world of magic, robots, kingdoms. And as I've started to reflect, I've noticed that I was the one that was desiring things, and I was looking for an escape from our current reality that is filled with nothing fantastical, but everything painfully real. And I feel like everybody has that sort of, or most people have that sort of experience of wanting to be immersed into their books to find that sort of escape. Um, but I didn't think that I could have that same experience with these books or books like them. And it wasn't until I did read them that I was able to be immersed into that world, but in a very different way. Instead of as an escape, it has helped me become more aware of issues, and more aware of the experiences of people aside from what I have been engaged with online of statistics and political articles. But something I always realized while I was reading those was that I couldn't feel the same sort of empathy that I have now felt while reading these books. And that may be because of just the political discourse in general and the language used. It doesn't allow us to fully connect with these issues and experiences like literature does, like these authors have been able to. But I am very happy that I've read these books. I'm very glad that I am wanting to become increasingly engaged so I can better my awareness and understanding of different cultures and their experiences and the issues of our own country, so I can become a better educated supporter, ally, friend, student, as I am taking those lessons and meanings and internalizing them and reflecting on what I can change in myself, but also in my community and what I can do better. So, more specifically, an issue that has compelled, angered, and inspired me the most throughout these novels is immigration, but more specifically, immigration in the US. I'm sure this was on purpose, but these novels are extremely relevant to our current reality in our current history in this timeline, and being able to read about it across cultures, um, and grasp a better understanding of a moderately shared experience than, like I said, read statistics or political articles that don't make that much sense to me, has become or is significantly impactful as a person who is an advocate for change. While reading the Book of Unknown Americans, I was put into the perspective of an uncomfortable perspective of disappointment and regret and betrayal of situations that I did not know that my country was putting people in. And it made me reflect on even the smallest things of our country, down to the everyday interactions down to the things that I use, down to the things that I waste. And that in itself, that sort of reflection is a step in the right direction that I feel that people around our country need to start reflecting about. Similarly, with We Need New Names, these families in both books left their homes, left their selfhood to come to America for a better life, in simple terms. And they come to America because America is advertised as equal for all, the land of the free, but then the sheer irony that when they do get here, there's no equal freedom or opportunity. And I feel that reveals the true system of America and what it is founded on. Alongside that, the abundance of hatred and hostility that Americans feel about immigration is only getting amplified in our current political atmosphere. And even though immigrants do so much for our country and ask for incredibly little in return, they are only faced with dehumanization and fear for their lives and their families. And again, that just shines light on the contradictory values of America and how it is increasingly, time and time again, been proved to be wrong and has been abused by power. I feel that through reading literature that is focused on current issues from the perspective of those experiencing them, it is creating a better connection between the reader, myself, and those who are affected, which will further empathy and a willingness for change. Growing up as a white American, it wasn't until the end of middle school that I was coming to realize what politics was, what race was, what sexuality was, gender, all those sorts of things. And as I've grown and created incredible connections with people in my community, I've found it incredibly hard to not be angered by the decisions that's being happened in our office today, and hard to not be compelled for change and not inspired by those around me who are putting in the change to be a part of that change. And I feel that I've always known that the fact of the power of art and literature for history, as you know, they can tell a million stories, and they are able to tell things and talk about things and shine light on things that those political articles and statistics will never be able to show the same way. And I feel that through reading these books, I've now bared witness to that, and I feel the absolute need to encourage myself and those around me to read these books, to read about these issues, about the people or societies that are experiencing them from their perspective, rather than forcing ourselves into political discourse that we will not understand. Because I feel that through art and literature, we can create a more genuine passion for change and a better morality that can be a better foundation for change, rather than looking at what it says in political language and what it means economically. Thank you so much for your course, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.